Welcome to episode 248, Husnu Ozyegin, Richest Self-Made Billionaire in Turkey, 1944 to 2018. This is an outline of episode 248. There are three reasons why we study Husnu Ozyegin. First, he's the richest Turkish self-made billionaire. Second, he is also the most generous man in Turkey, having founded a university and funded dormitories for thousands of female high school students. Number three, he started life with $500 at Oregon State University in 1963. Let us meet Husnu Ozyegin.
Scratch. I actually started my life with a scratch because my my late father, gave me $1,000 and said, Husnu, now you're going to the States for your undergraduate degree. I was 17 and a half. And that's how I started life, with $1,000. After that, I was completely on my own.
He was born in Izmir, Turkey in 1944. His father is a doctor. He left his home at age 10 and spent 8 years to study at Robert Academy, which is an English high school in Istanbul. In 1963, he graduated 8th of his high school class out of a total of 82 students. He began his study at Oregon State University with $500 from his father. Husnu was a student leader, and he once invited Bobby Kennedy, then a senator, to give a speech at Oregon State University. Here's a picture of the young Husnu Ozyegin. In 1987, he graduated with a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from Oregon State University and went on to Harvard MBA. After Harvard, he spent 3 years working for Arthur D. Little, where he got his green card and also avoided the Vietnam War draft.
The second surprise was I started working for Arthur D. Little after I graduated. And Arthur D. Little asked me if I'd go to Canada with a team that would advise International Harvester in Canada in their cost-cutting program. I said, yes, of course I would, if this is an assignment, but I said, my Turkish passport had expired, and the Turkish embassy would not extend that. I had to go back to Turkey and do my military service. Those were the rules at that time. But Arthur D. Little actually provided me with a green card at a record speed of 2 weeks. And I went to Canada. I worked there for 4 months with our team. Came back to my apartment in Somerville, Massachusetts, and I was surprised to get a little notice from local drafts board number 22.
In 1974, he returned to Turkey. He was 29.
You were the youngest CEO of a bank in Turkey in 1977, which means you had something to lose.
Actually, the second bank that I managed, which today is still in existence, Yapı Kredi Bank, which is owned half by the Koç Group and half by Unicredito. It's also a public bank. I was the managing director of that bank, and that bank, I was fortunate enough to turn that bank around. It's also
why he started his own bank at the age of 43. Now, this is thanks to his chief boss, Mehmet Emin Kara Mehmet.
When I turned that bank around, Yapı Kredi, I asked my boss, who was also my classmate from Robert College, to give me 1% of the bank. I said I'd pay half 0.5%, and that I would appreciate if he funded the other 0.5%. He said, Husnu, I don't have a system where our CEOs are shareholders. You continue with your salary and bonuses and try to be happy with that. It was at that moment I decided to jump into my entrepreneurship. And I knew that I had all the corporate relationships to bring corporate customers and CFOs and CEOs and owners of businesses to the bank for business. So it was a pretty low-risk strategy.
In 2006, he sold his bank to Greek investor for $6 billion, making him a billionaire.
I and my family are probably one of the most fortunate people in the world because we never dreamt of my founding a bank with $8 million capital and then selling it for $6 billion 19 years later.
But what's also interesting is this FDI came from Greece, you know. I mean, the world conception about Turkey and Greece is that Turks and Greeks are not very good friends. Actually, this is completely wrong. My greatest achievement has been really not necessarily Finansbank, but the fact that I founded a university in Istanbul. And I hope that the conference, this Congress, will be very successful and it will generate a lot of business between the interworking among the participants. Thank you very much for the opportunity to address you.
Thank you. Thank you.
After he sold the bank, he founded Austrian University in Istanbul in 2007. Founding of Austrian University made him also the most generous man in Turkey. This is the secrets of his success in his own words.
I tell you, people are extremely important. Human resource. I say there are three things about a successful business. Number one is human resource. Number two is human resource. Number three is the rest just comes.
Yes.
Okay. And in fact, most of the companies that I founded are from scratch also. A bank in Russia, a bank in Holland, a bank in Ukraine. All these were from scratch. Leasing companies in these countries, insurance businesses in these countries, they were all from scratch.
What have I learned today? Husnu Ozyegin is a great man. He became the richest self-made billionaire in Turkey when he sold his bank in 2006. In 2007, he also became the biggest philanthropist in Turkey when he founded his university in Istanbul. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. My next video will be 10 lessons of Husnu Ozyegin. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.